Hello, and welcome to 5 crucial questions to ask yourself before you create that quiz. My name is Mary Strawn, and I'm also known as the Get It Done Facilitator, and I'm the creator of the Visionary Alter Ego Quiz. So welcome and thank you for joining me today. You're in the right place, or this call is really going to be helpful to you if the idea of offering a quiz is really intriguing to you, or you want to get off to the best possible start before you get into all of these, all of the parts of creating a quiz. And it's also going to be helpful for you if you want to know more about what's involved behind the scenes, beyond the quiz itself, which people actually physically take. Okay? So today I'm going to go through 5 questions, and these questions are really questions I wish I would have asked myself before I created the Visionary Alter Ego Quiz. And in asking them and sharing with them to you, I'm really hoping that it will make things a lot simpler for you. And then at the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to explore what it would be like to have someone support you while you create the quiz. And I'll go through the different scenarios where I can help you along the way. All right, does that sound good? Okay, let's get started. So let's start by asking the question, what is a quiz? So, of course, it is that physical, it's not even physical, like sometimes it's virtual, right? But that series of questions that people go through and answer, and then they get a result at the end. But I'm here to tell you that it's more than that, and there's much more involved than that. When I'm talking about a quiz, it is one version of an opt-in. It's one part of a pipeline that can be simple or complex. And if pipeline is a new word to you, you can think about it as a funnel. So it's one part of a funnel. I use the word pipeline. It is a system to build your email list and your community efficiently and effectively, meaning it will do a lot of the work for you. It's also a screening tool to help people select into your community and into your world. It's a way to offer the person who's taking it some clarity about a problem or a need that they have. And it's a way to offer value to people, even if they don't accept your invitation to action or your call to action. So that's what I mean by a quiz. That's the context that we're talking about it today. So let's move on to the first question. What's your purpose for creating an opt-in? So think about your business. Why are you wanting to create an opt-in in the first place? And there are a few reasons. You could be doing it to simply create brand awareness. So just letting people know more about you and your work. We've talked about a way to build your list and your community, but it can also be a way to lead up to an offer. So when people, so here's where I want you to start thinking that about the quiz as, it doesn't end when people get the results. There's a whole component afterwards in the email sequence and in the offer that you're making. So one of the biggest mistakes, I made it, and I'm hoping to help you avoid making it, you really want the opt-in to support the reason that you have for creating it in the first place. And if there's an offer involved, then have the opt-in support the offer. Have the opt-in make sense, connected to that offer. It's really the precursor to the offer. So start with your offer instead of starting with your quiz. When you start with the offer, maybe a quiz isn't the best option. Okay. I want to talk to you about the people that you're going to bring into your community and onto your email list. Are you prepared for those people joining your community? Are you ready to start communicating with them on a regular basis? Like, what are you going to do with the people that come onto your email list? Because what you don't want to do is have people come on and then you not have content to share with them, because then your list is going to go cold, and it's just not a great idea to bring people onto a list and then not talk to them or communicate or engage with them, and then suddenly plop an offer out to them. Because they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, who is this person? You want to make sure that you're prepared for the people to join you and know kind of the things that you're going to be sharing with them, and be prepared for that part of the equation. Are you comfortable making offers to them? And can you do it in a way that feels good to you, that's providing value, that's not, number one, just not constantly offers going out, but are you comfortable with the whole sales process to your email list? Sometimes I hear people entrepreneurs saying, oh, I don't want to bug them. Okay, so you need a way, you need a strategy, you need a plan to be able to communicate in a way that, both you and the receiver feels good to them. Okay, so that's the second question, and it's important for you to know the answer and to have a plan in place to communicate with the people that you bring on board. Okay. Now, the third question, and it's tied in again to the first one, is a quiz the best option for you and your business? And it could be that it's not, because, okay, first of all, what I want to say to this is a quiz, does your work naturally lend itself to a quiz? And there are two basic kinds of quizzes. There's a category quiz, which is like a personality, or we see lots of archetype quizzes out there right now. And then there's the knowledge type of quiz, where it's still fun. It can be fun, maybe it's serious, I don't know. How much you know about a certain topic. It's kind of like a little test your knowledge of, a product or a place, maybe even. So those are the two kinds. So does your work naturally lend itself to one of these two types of quizzes? And if it doesn't, then let's find you something else that will work and will be really natural to you to offer. The other thing to ask is a quiz a natural extension of you, like of your personality, Does it like match who you are and your energy? If you think about it, a quiz is, especially doing one, where the people check the box that's, pick the option that is closest to them, or they're asked to rate something. That's a different personality. I'm going to call it a personality. That's a different feel than offering a guided meditation, for example. Like, what is a more natural extension of who you are? And then also, will a quiz be joyful and easeful for you, or will it be too technical? There's a lot of things to keep in mind when you're doing a quiz that will make it robust. I have a background in program planning and evaluation, so I know, when you're doing this kind of evaluation, which it really is, there's, there's certain things that you need to look at so that the answers are, for lack of a better word, valid. You don't want to lead people to answer one way or another by making your choices. You have to kind of keep them all neutral. So there's a few things to keep in mind when you're actually creating the quiz. And if that is going to be a headache to you, or it doesn't come naturally to you, well, first of all, someone like me can help you with that. But if it is, if that's like kind of just gives you a headache thinking about it, then let's, find something that would be more appropriate and fun for you. Funner. I don't know if that's a proper word or not, but something that's fun for you. And a quiz may be fun for you. I quite enjoy making them. But if it's not, then I don't suggest doing it. All right. Fourth question. What do you need in place to attract people into your quiz? And this has two different components to it. The first one is, do your people that are going to take the quiz need a context as to why they're taking the quiz and what it means when they get their answer? It could be that they need the context, or it could not. It could be very simple in the name of the quiz, in the description that you write above the quiz, or it might require more context. For me, I've added a video on my homepage where I want people to watch it and then take the quiz. Because once they watch it, they understand better, or they have a better understanding of the results that they're going to get by taking it. Okay? The other piece of this is it's more like, how are they going to find your quiz? What are you going to do to, for lack of a better word, promote it? I was using, my strategy was through my podcast. I need to tweak this a little bit because I'm having the people who I interview share the interview with their community. But what I'm realizing is they're not sharing the link. So I need to make it really easy for them to share the link for people to take the quiz and not have to listen to the whole interview and then go and find the quiz on my page. So that's a little tweak that I can make. What is your strategy going to be to get word out about your quiz? Are you going to go onto podcasts and talk about your body of work and share the quiz there? Like, what is your plan? What do you need in place to attract people into your quiz to actually take it? Okay, so that's another component to think about in addition to creating the quiz. Hopefully, your quiz will be amazing and people will tell other people about it, so there'll be a word of mouth. That can take some time. And there's some other simple things that you can do to let people know that about your quiz too. Okay. Final question, which I see most posted about on Facebook, and what I see people really focused on is, what mechanism will you use to deliver your quiz? And it is actually a really important consideration. And I'm not sure that one of these questions or one of these components is any more important than the other. But there's a few things to think about when you're choosing how you're going to deliver your quiz. Like, is it going to be, so first of all, let's start with if it's going to be on your website or not. Depending on what platform you use, if you're using a WordPress platform or, what are one of the other ones, you're going to have to find, you don't have to find one. You want to consider what will be compatible, what plugin will be compatible to your platform, and then the theme that you're using on your website. So here's what happened when I was doing mine. I had purchased two themes actually, and I was using one of them. I can't remember what it's called. Kindred, actually, I think it was called. And when I found the plugin that I wanted to use to accommodate the way I wanted to run the quiz and calculate the answers, it messed the theme all up. I couldn't use it. So that plugin, I can tell you the name, is Thrive Quiz Builder. So I understand now Thrive makes its own WordPress themes. And so it works best, Quiz Builder works best on a Thrive theme. It all integrates nicely. So that's why it wasn't working with my WordPress theme that I had in place already. However, luckily I had also purchased previously Elegant Themes, a package, and the Divi theme works well with Thrive Thrive Quiz Builder. So there's that component. There has to be compatibility with your platform and the theme that you're using. To find the plugin or to find the that mechanism, I just went through I just installed a lot of different plugins to see what one would allow me to calculate the answers based on how I had it kind of organized in my mind. Some of the plugins are going to cost money. I say that only because some people don't like to invest, or there'll be the next level you have to, maybe there's a free version and then there's a more advanced version that you pay for, you make a contribution to. So The other thing to think about when you're choosing how you deliver it is how the plugin, and if the plugin or if the way that you're delivering it will provide you the kind of stats that you want and need to be able to understand and interpret how well your quiz is performing. So Thrive, the quiz builder that I use tells me how many people start my quiz, how many people finish it, and how many people actually opt in. So I can see the numbers, and I can see, okay, and I've done this recently, I can see so many people out of 100 people who start it, this many people finish it. If that number is not where you would like it to be, you can figure out, okay, what's going on? And in my case, I had 7 potential answers. So I've actually found a way to rework things to take it down to 4. So now I can reset the stats, and now I can see if that's making a difference, because I know previous to that what percentage of people were completing it. And then I can also look, okay, this number of people complete it, and this percentage of them actually opt in. Is there anything that I could do to increase that number, that percentage? And for me, I know one of the things that I can do is to add a little video, so that inviting people to opt in and helping them understand what they're going to be getting. I don't have that right now. So that might be something that can increase that number a little bit. However, remember, it is a screening tool. So it's okay if people are self-selecting out. That's what it's meant to do. So the object is not to get 100% in the numbers. It's, I would look at it more like if you're like getting a really low number on either of these stats, then you might want to look at how you can improve things. And the reason I say that is because I hear people saying, oh, I use Gravity Forms, for example, for my quiz. I would just want you to investigate, first of all, what level of Gravity Forms do you need to invest in to be able to run the quiz the way you want it to be run? And then is it able to give you some statistics? Having a quiz, as I mentioned before, can really be an efficient and effective way to automate your bringing people into your community. So it's, I think, in my opinion, it's really worth setting yourself up to be able to make that as efficient and effective as it can be. And part of that is knowing the numbers. All right. Some other things that you want to look at in terms of the more technical side of things. One is does it integrate easily with your email provider, or do you have to connect it with a third-party app? Let's call it that. And really, I also want to just mention there's no harm in starting out with a pen or pencil and paper, like having people print it out and doing the quiz that way. It's not ideal, I will say that, because then you need another mechanism in place to tag them in your email system. But in the beginning, there's no harm in having some people practice take the quiz just as to make sure that it is getting the results, like as a trial, a beta. And that's okay to do it on paper, but then you'll also want to, this happened to me, actually, I had people try it out online, and by accident, the two questions got disconnected, and so there was 3 questions and then a disconnect from the rest. So when they took it, there's only 3 questions that they took. So they were able to come back and say, I thought there was like 10 questions to your quiz, and I only did 3. So then I went back and I fixed that little tiny glitch. The other thing, when you update the plugin, you want to make sure that it's still, people can access and it's all working smoothly, okay? I think that's enough on the technical side of things. I don't want to overwhelm you, and I don't want this to be the reason that you don't do a quiz if you're really, you know, it's a good fit for you otherwise, because, you know, with a little research, that this can be figured out. Okay. If you have questions, you're welcome to send an email to me and ask them, and I'll certainly send a follow-up email out to you asking you if you have questions about what we've covered so far. Okay. I mentioned at the beginning there would be an opportunity for you to see if you might like some support to make your quiz happen easily. And, you know, just to be able to you know, to put all of these pieces together that I've mentioned. Just going to move myself over there a little bit. So a quiz is more than just a quiz. I hope that I've demonstrated that to you with these 5 questions. There's a lot to think about. There are several pieces involved to the quiz production itself. And then you can see that it's actually part of a larger project, which is bringing people on board to your community and making an offer to them. So there's all of these components to this, and I know that it might be overwhelming. It might not. Maybe it's really exciting for you. That's how I feel about it. But I want to just let you know that you have some options if you're looking for some support to make your quiz happen. So here are the reasons that you might like to consider working with me to develop your quiz, okay? One of the reasons is you don't want to waste time figuring out all of those pieces of the puzzle and how they go together. Or you want to get it done sooner than later. You can see, you know, how putting these pieces together and figuring it all out is going to take you longer than if you have somebody who's been through it before, who's, you know, had some training in it. And, you know, my mind really kind of just works naturally in this way. So you can do it yourself for sure. You'll be able to figure it out. It just might take you longer. I can help you navigate your visionary alter ego during this during this process, because I'm almost positive that one or more of them is going to come out to play in the, you know, while you're doing this. Izzy Ideas is going to keep you stuck at the idea of creating a quiz. And Patty Planner, you know, you're going to take it into the planning phase, but she's going to, you know, keep you stuck there and out of action. Greta Grinder, who I can speak to from experience when I was making my quiz, Greta Grinder is going to keep you, she's going to like work on this, and your head's going to be down, and you're going to kind of let some of the other things go in your business and in your life. And that drive, you know, it can cost you. So that's how Greta Grinder is going to come into play. Penny Plateau, you know, may have less of an issue getting through the, you know, she might not get caught in the, you know, that process. But if you know the secondary alter egos, some of you know this, it's really, there's Paula Perfection, Be Busy Bee, and Lena Lerner. One of those three, if not all of them, can come out to play in this, because there is lots to learn, and you can get caught up in the learning process. Be Busy Bee, you know, is going to keep you busy doing tasks that don't get the work done. And the perfection is going to, you know, want everything to be perfect in what you're doing. So I can help you manage that and get you moving forward and through the process. Okay. You might want to consider working with me if you know you want to create a quiz, but, you know, now that you know the whole process and that there's all of this going on, it might feel overwhelming, and you'd benefit from having someone like me break it down into actionable steps, and that way you're actually going to do it. Okay, you're going to get it done. And the last way that I can help, and it can be a combination of all of these, it doesn't have to be just one. If you realize, and you know this about yourself, you kind of get distracted, or you need support to stay focused or on track with your work while you're working on the quiz, or you need help taking, I call it parallel action. So, you know, while you're creating your quiz, the rest of your business still has to run. You still need to see clients. You still, you know, need to do what you need to do in your business. And so I can help you manage all of those parallel streams of action. If you have a, you know, if you have a Facebook group you have to keep up, you're running a program, you know, all of these things still run in the background while you're building this quiz. And I can help you stay on track of all of them with the deadlines and the timeline and the tasks. Okay, so if this sounds appealing to you, you can schedule a clarity call with me. And I really want you to imagine what could be possible if you had this support while you create your quiz. You know, how could it be different for you? Maybe you've taken on a bigger project or a more complicated project in the past. What would it be like to have somebody supporting you to stay on track, to map it out for you, to break it down, to help you stay on track and in your timelines? And really, the other thing that I can help you figure out is if now is the right time for you to do this based on your commitments that you have already in your calendar. Okay, so if you can see that that would be helpful, I'd like to invite you to have a clarity call with me. What is a clarity call and what is it not? So really the goal is to assess your needs and see if there's a way for me to contribute. It could be, maybe maybe not. We won't know until we talk. It is not a free session where we will work together and, to figure it out, to get something done. I'll ask you questions so that we both get clarity on what you need to be able to move forward. And that way we'll know if I'm actually the best person to help you or not. But I also want to make clear, it's not a high pressure sales pitch. I'm not that kind of person. That's just not me. So although it is an exploration of whether or not we'd be a good fit to work together. Okay? There's the link, and I'll send this in the follow-up email. If you'd like to schedule a clarity call with me, that's the link to my scheduler. And just to let you know, there will be a form for you to fill out that will collect some preliminary information for me before we have our clarity call together, and it will just help shape the questions and the conversation that we have together. Okay? And the last thing I just want to mention, if you're not sure that a quiz is the best option for you and your business, I can help you sort that out too. And in that case, I would suggest a jumpstart session with me. It's $279. It's 90 minutes. We sit down together and we really brainstorm and sort out like what would be. And maybe it will end up being a quiz, but we'll just talk about what you're all about, what your business is about, the offer that you want to make. Maybe you don't know what you want to offer. We can sort that out first and then see what would be the best and most natural thing to offer as an opt-in. Okay, so that's available for $297, and that's in Canadian dollars. So you can convert that to your currency. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that these 5 questions give you some things to think about. And again, if I can be of assistance, I really do love creating quizzes. I love helping people create opt-ins. It's a fun project for me to support people with. So feel free to reach out. Okay. So my name is Mary Strawn, also known as the Get It Done Facilitator, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.